What's up YouTube? Shamu Aquariums here, bringing you guys another video. And today I'm going to talk about fish acclimation. And every single time I read articles online or hear people on Facebook talking about how to acclimate fish, they always say stuff like float them in the bag for like 20 to 30 minutes, or some people, crazy people will actually say like float them in the bag for like 2 hours, or put them in a bucket and slowly drip water from the aquarium into the bucket. Now, I don't know if those people are talking about like when you order fish from online and they've been in a package in a bag for like 2 to 3 days or what. Asshole red tail shark at it again. But right now I'm talking about when it comes to going to your local fish store and going to a fish store that's like 20 minutes, 30 minutes away from your house. And when I acclimate my fish into my tank, I never order fish from online. I always go to local fish stores, and all of my local fish stores are like anywhere from 5 minutes down the street to 45 minutes away from my house. And whenever I get fish and add them to my tank, I float them in the bag at the top of the tank for like 10 minutes. Yeah, 10 minutes. And then after that 10-minute timer goes off, I get a cup of water from the aquarium and pour it into the bag slowly. And then after a couple minutes, I release the fish into the tank. And depending on circumstances, depending on the type of fish, I will either net them out of the bag and put them in the tank and then dump the water from the bag into the sink, or I'll just release the fish and the water from the bag straight into the tank. And I know that sounds risky, but I haven't had any disease outbreaks since 2016, because I am very picky about which local fish stores I go to nowadays. And yeah, I haven't had any problems since like 2016 at this point. And I know it kind of sounds like I'm not acclimating my fish for long enough, but I haven't had any problems with temperature shock or any kind of shock from water parameter changes. And even with the rose lines, which are known to be kind of sensitive, I haven't had problems with these guys getting shocked after floating in the bag for only 10 to 12 minutes. So I really genuinely don't believe that you have to float fish in the bag at the top of your tank for more than 10 to 12 minutes. And when you buy tropical fish for your tropical fish tank, there's already a good chance that your aquarium water is gonna already be pretty close to what the temperature of the water is in the bag, unless you're one of those psychopaths who's driving home with the fish in the bag and you have the AC blasting right onto the bag, which you really shouldn't do that. But now, when it comes to ordering fish online, yeah, that might be a totally different story, but I don't order fish online. I always go to local fish stores. Southern California has plenty of local tropical fish stores, and I have like 7 good tropical fish stores all within a 45-minute drive from my house. Now, when it comes to releasing fish straight into the aquarium from the bag and letting the water from the bag into the aquarium, sometimes I will net the fish out of the bag and into the tank and then dump the water from the bag into the sink. But there are certain fish that I will not net out of the bag, especially these guys, the roseline sharks, also known as denison barbs, and also as well as Bela sharks. Because the reason why I will not net these guys out of the bag, there's a very high risk that when you stick a net into that bag, these guys will launch themselves out of the bag. And I don't like taking chances with making fish jump, because I've had fish jump out of the tank, jump out of bags, and even when I immediately pick them up and put them right back into the water within 5 seconds, they would still die a few days later. So yeah, certain fish like roseline sharks, I am not going to net them out of the bag and risk having them jump out of the bag. These guys, I just cut the bag open and release them straight into the tank, not taking chances with having them jump. And I've never had any problems since like years ago with any kind of disease outbreaks or anything. But now I do understand why people net the fish out of the bag and put them into the aquarium. I do that myself, just not with the roselines. But yeah, I perfectly understand why people will not let any of the water from the bag into the aquarium. But I am very, very picky about where I buy my fish from. I don't order fish online, and I only buy from trusted local fish stores. So that's pretty much why like I only float them in the bag for like 10 to 12 minutes rather than the typical recommended like 15 to over 30 minutes. I think 40 minutes is kind of insane. This pearl gourami just suddenly decided that he hates the rainbows. Seen him going after the cories a few times too. But yeah, I really think that there's a lot of like common practices in this hobby that are not really like all that necessary, or like it's just people just being overly cautious. Like, yeah, I still do my water changes on this tank like every week, but pretty soon I'm probably gonna go back to doing it every 2 weeks or once a month like I used to. And when I did it once a month with a similar bio load, I still didn't have any problems. So yeah, you do not really have to acclimate your fish as long as people say to. Now keep in mind, I'm only talking about when you go to a local fish store that's like 20 to 45 minutes away from your house versus ordering fish online or going to a fish store that's like 2+ hours away. But yeah, you really don't need to acclimate your fish at the top of the tank for like 30+ minutes. But also keep in mind that the longer the fish stay in the bag, the more stressed out they're gonna get. Like, every time I get new fish and I have them floating in the bag at the top of the tank, I just see them spending that entire 10 to 12 minutes just freaking out trying to escape the bag, and they're breathing all heavy and all that. So I try to also make sure they spend as little time in the bag as possible. But yeah, that's all for today's video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.